For the past year, I've been forcing myself to try new things, even when my brain screams at me to stay in my comfort zone. And I discovered something shocking. Brain rewiring is stimulated by novel experiences, yet most people unknowingly create the exact conditions that make their brains more rigid. Your brain is a paranoid security guard convinced that anything unfamiliar threatens your survival. Think of your neural pathways as well-worn hiking trails. The more you use them, the deeper they get, and the harder it becomes to step off the path. Neuroplasticity sounds promising in theory, but there's a catch. That same structure designed to help us adapt becomes a prison when it prioritizes safety over growth. I discovered this the embarrassing way when I spent 3 weeks planning to try rock climbing, researching gear obsessively while never actually booking a session. My brain had turned preparation into procrastination, using my own curiosity against me. The cruel irony. The very mechanism that should have freed me to explore was actively sabotaging my attempts to do exactly that, building an invisible fortress against change. Month one of my experiment revealed something disturbing. My brain was actively sabotaging me with surgical precision. Every time I'd commit to something new, whether it was signing up for that pottery class or finally trying the climbing gym, I'd feel this immediate physical resistance, like my nervous system was staging a revolt. I'd catch myself creating elaborate excuses, suddenly needing to reorganize my closet before trying salsa dancing, or researching optimal nutrition for rock climbing for hours instead of just showing up. The most maddening part? I could see it happening in real time, this internal tug-of-war between curiosity and terror, but I couldn't stop it. What I didn't realize was that this discomfort wasn't my enemy. It was actually the sound of my neural pathways beginning to shift, the friction of old patterns colliding with new stimulus. So you've been watching me fail spectacularly at my own pottery class experiment. Did you also catch yourself making elaborate excuses to avoid trying something new this week? Comment your answer below. Now let me show you what happened in month 2 when I finally stopped researching and started doing. 3 months into my novelty experiment, I started noticing something unsettling about my own thinking patterns. I'd catch myself mentally rotating problems from different angles, considering outcomes I would never have imagined before, making connections between completely unrelated concepts. My brain felt like it was operating on a different frequency. When you challenge your brain to adapt through new experiences, your neural pathways actually reorganize and create new connections. Cognitive flexibility isn't fixed at birth like IQ. But here's the brutal truth I discovered. I quit right before this cognitive shift happened. I endured the discomfort of weeks 1 and 2, then nearly abandoned ship just as my neural pathways were beginning to reorganize. The irony is devastating. I almost gave up on brain change precisely when my brain was most ready to change. By month 4, something strange started happening that I didn't expect. My brain was creating its own feedback loop. The more new things I tried, the more I craved trying new things. Each novel experience was triggering dopamine release that made my brain assign higher value to the next unfamiliar opportunity. I'd catch myself scanning my environment for new experiences like a hunter looking for prey, suddenly noticing that coffee shop I'd walked past for months, or feeling genuinely excited about an invitation to try paddleboarding. The novelty was actually reshaping how my brain responded to both familiar and unfamiliar stimuli, extending beyond just the immediate moment. Someone close to me noticed it first, commenting that I seemed restless, but in a good way, constantly suggesting new activities. What I was experiencing wasn't willpower or motivation. It was my reward system literally rewiring itself to seek out more of what had been feeding it. 6 months in, I'm sitting here writing this with a brain that feels fundamentally different. I'm 20% better at problem solving according to my own informal tracking, 80% more likely to say yes to opportunities that would have terrified me before, and my brain now automatically scans for novelty like it's hunting for its next meal. The actionable framework that emerged from all this neurological chaos is simple. Commit to one genuinely new experience per week. Not trying a new restaurant, but something that makes your nervous system revolt. When you feel that physical resistance, lean into it rather than researching your way out of it. Track your cognitive shifts rather than your comfort levels. Notice when you start connecting unrelated concepts or approaching problems from angles you never considered before. Your brain stays plastic throughout your lifespan, which means this isn't a young person's game. It's available to anyone willing to systematically make their brain uncomfortable. Subscribe for more brain hacking experiments and watch this next. It reveals why most productivity advice destroys your motivation.